Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another series review. I just recently watched the latest episode of Orphan Black, which was called Certain Agony of the Battlefield, and this episode was intense, emotional, very powerfully written, and we find that Papook, the scorpion, I finally know the scorpion's name, and in the closer look behind the scenes, the actress who plays all the different roles of the clones, she says it means bellybutton in Ukrainian, and I thought, well, it makes sense that he would be named that, but he's another douchebag. But Helena, she escapes, and Sarah is still locked up in the compound in Mexico, and she was given something by Virginia, Mother, and she reacts very harshly to it, and one of the caster clones is there, and Paul is there, and it's very intriguing to see how Paul and Sarah actually relate, because if you've watched from season 1, you know what their relationship was. Hanky-panky. More often than not, yeah. She basically hijacked, shanghaied, and stole Beth's life, and when we see her go into her, I guess you would call it some kind of purgatory or semi-conscious state. I'm not sure whether she's in between life and... Well, I think she was. She was in between life and death, and she was having some regrets, and that's why she saw Beth. And she has an encounter with Beth, and Beth says, you have no right to grieve for me or miss me, because you stole everything, and you and Paul were made for each other because you were lying cheats and thieving bastards. And I thought, yeah, she's actually right there, because both of them are deceitful schmucks, but they have every reason to be. And Paul actually makes amends for every wrongdoing he ever did in this particular episode, which I had a feeling he would do, but I didn't know how. And when Mother does what she does to him, I thought, yeah, I knew she would do that. And Helena redeems herself. I thought, thank God. She had to eat Papook, though. I think that was just what that symbolizes, just the evil, because the scorpion is black, and black symbolizes all the, well, it's a very cryptic, hidden, dark side, the ominous evil that we all carry within us. And she was having a war within herself, and by consuming that particular rottenness, she purges it in a way. I guess I don't know if I'm trying to be a behaviorist on this whole issue, but that's just how I see it. I like to analyze symbols because they've always been very meaningful and fascinating to me. And I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist in any way, shape, or form. It's just that I observe and I can deduce from things that I observe. And my accuracy is pretty darn good. And of course, this episode focused on Allison and Allison's soap front, and I thought, yay, they're getting back to Allison and Barry. And then there's one scene that just made me laugh out loud until my sides hurt. Allison and Barry, they're dancing to this hip-hop gangsta rap and twerking and everything. Oh my Lord. That part of this episode was hysterical, even though it was kind of over the top. It just made the episode even better. But it wasn't all about that. It feeds into the entire convoluted, complex, multifaceted, fractured storyline. And we learn more about how the caster DNA is extracted, and Gracie's problem was sexually transmitted by Mark because he carried the protein in his DNA. And I thought, No wonder. Oh, so it's like a really bad clap. No, it's like really bad AIDS. I thought, ugh. Yeah, he consummated that marriage for show. Nail in the coffin. Nailed it. Sorry, too many euphemisms there. I really shouldn't do that, but it's just, I thought, oh, that's twisted. That is low down, disgusting. But I had a feeling that Mark, he's no good. He's not good news. And Gracie, she has to deal with that. And then we learn about Sarah's uniqueness in herself and how the other clones were meant to be infertile. And she's very fertile. And she was resistant to that one protein or disease that the casters had, because they injected her with one of the caster clones' blood, and I could see that little pick line, the IV going into her, I think it's jugular, either jugular or carotid, I can't remember which is which, but it's in the neck, and that's why she was having that really spine-tingling, disenchanting nightmare about the caster clone, and I thought, ugh, that's horrid, that's awful. And I like it when they use dream sequences in this particular series with Kira involved, and it just shows the connection that Sarah has with her daughter, and it kind of makes me wonder what she's going to do once if she ever escapes. Well, she did escape via help from Paul, which none of us, I think, saw coming. But her getting help from a past nemesis this has happened before, so it's something that the writers of Orphan Black keep constantly twisting and saying, here, enjoy this spectacular little irony that you never thought you'd see, and wham, they just throw it right at us. I'm excited to see what will happen in the next episode. That certain Agony of the Battlefield has got to be the best episode yet. So, until I see you next time, live long, prosper. Arrivederci.